Okay, so this is a video on cadences to go away along with what we've been doing in Bath College. After the test today, there was a few questions about cadences and what they are, and it's just some confusion about which one was which and all this kind of stuff. Now, unfortunately, the only way to learn it is through repetition, so I figured a YouTube video is the best way of doing it because you can play it and play it and play it and play it. There's going to be some documents that you can download as well that go with it, but the best way is just through repetition. So in this video, real dead simple, I'm just going to go over the four main cadences, give you some musical examples, and then I'll put another video on afterwards about how to recognize those if they're played, for example, maybe in a test environment. So the first one we're going to do is a perfect cadence. Perfect cadence is chord 5 to chord 1. That's it, chord 5 to chord 1. Always remember it, you have your perfect fifth. It's the strongest harmony you can get if you're in C, or strongest harmony you can get. Power chords, all that. So chord 5 is G, chord 1 is C, and that's it. That's a perfect cadence. Okay. I know I'm doing this on the guitar and on the test it was on piano, but A, I don't have a piano, and B, I think it's better to learn it in different ways. So you're just going to have to deal with that one. So perfect cadence, chord 5 to chord 1. Grand. The next one would be a Plagal cadence, which is chord 4 to chord 1. If we're in the key of C, that would be F to C. I know this is a bit heady, but it's the only way of remembering it, I'm afraid. So perfect cadence, chord 5 to chord 1. Plagal cadence, chord 4 to chord 1. If you remember that, you're sorted. Okay, so one more time, perfect cadence, chord G to chord C, or 5 to 1, Plagal cadence, chord 4 to chord 1. Okay, now, the other two are a little bit more complicated because they have variants on the same thing. So we'll start with imperfect. The way I always remember imperfect is it's the opposite of the perfect cadence. So, whereas a perfect cadence starts on 5, an imperfect cadence ends on 5. That's the best way I can describe it. So it's any chord to the fifth chord. So to keep it simple, if we go from chord C to chord G, that's an imperfect cadence because we are going from chord 1 and we're ending on chord 5. That's the important bit, the ending on chord 5. And it can be any chord. So it can be 2 to 5, 3 to 5, 4 to 5, 6 to 5, even 7 to 5 if you're feeling adventurous. The important bit of information is that it ends on 5. Okay, ends on the fifth chord of the diatonic series. And that brings us to the final one, which is an interrupted cadence, which is chord 5 to chord anything else other than 1. Because if it's chord 5 to chord 1, that's a perfect cadence. So then if it goes from 5 to any other chord in the diatonic series, it's an interrupted cadence. The way I remember it is the word interrupted. You're about to do a perfect cadence, you play your G, just as you're going to your C, you get interrupted by something and you play something else. It sounds very unresolved because our ears are trained to hear that, but there are some relationships to it, but those would be interrupted cadences. That's all I really want to say on that. Quick recap, perfect cadence is chord 5 to chord 1, Plagal cadence is a chord 4 to chord 1, imperfect cadence is chord anything to chord 5, and an interrupted cadence is chord 5 to anything else except 1. As I say, I'm going to put this all in like a Word document for you to download that you can have a read as well. It is just repetition, and I know it just seems like I've been just shouting numbers at you for about a month, but unfortunately it's the only way to do it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. There's be another one on how to recognize them, so hopefully that'll help for you.